Thank you everyone for joining our webinar OPC Rudder release version 5.6. We will wait some few more minutes to give everyone the chance to see the webinar live. Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining our webinar OPC Rudder 5.6. My name is Gianluca Lovivo and today I'm here with my colleague Jan Jebens to show you some few highlights of the new version of our product, the OPC Rudder 5.6. But before we do that, let me spend some few words on INRAE. INRAE is a company with over 30 years of experience. We have a really strong industrial focus and our own in-house software development in German. Today you can find our products in nearly 50 countries worldwide with around 35 distributors that supports customer with consulting, planning and the implementation of smart production solution. Our vision of smart production start with Manubs, transparent production. Manubs is a production focused real-time visualization cloud platform. Our vision continues with data-driven production with Pronubs. Is an enterprise solution to scale and standardize communication across different plants, plenty of plants. And of course, it's then on the OT is connected with the Kepware server and the OPC Rudder which allowed a seamless connectivity, industrial standardization, and data aggregation. Let's start with the agenda of today. Today we'll focus this webinar on the new OPC Router feature, the Solution Gallery. After that, we will spend some few words about the new function of the OPC Router that will make it a lot easier to dynamically read and write data over OPC UA. And of course, finally, we will answer your question you might have after the presentation. OPC Router provides an easy-to-use functionality for all requirements when it comes to integration of systems in the industrial environment. One of the major strengths of the OPC Router is scaling. In the OPC Router, you can create a connection, for example, machine data acquisition for one machine, and then roll it out to other machine using template and instance. Our customer implement IT/OT integration projects in one production facility and then deploy the configuration to other production facilities worldwide. The Solution Gallery is the next step. It delivers a ready-to-use integration solution in just a few clicks. Every solution comes pre-configured, including connection, data flows, and logic. You select a solution, you customize it, and then you go live. That's so easy. With just a few inputs, every solution adapts to your environment. Every sensitive data such as password or API keys are securely integrated. You are able to connect your system seamlessly, including artificial intelligence integration for intelligent analysis and automated decisions. You have built-in notification for Microsoft Teams and Slack to ensure that relevant events reach exactly where they are needed. From OPC UA to a database, MQTT, REST, everything is integrated, ready to use, and proven in practice. Make best practices reusable solution across your organization. Create once, deploy as many times as is needed across all your plants, location, and teams. Get started directly from our Solution Gallery. Implement project in less time. Connection, logic, and configuration are pre-configured. Consistent and standardized result across all installation based on the same available solution. Share your solution across all the installation. Jan will show you later Jan will show you how can you simply implement a Microsoft Teams solution in your production plant. You can notify a team and let them know about a critical temperature, or let someone else know about a process that has been successfully or unsuccessfully finished. And for example, let them know that a pallet is ready to be collected so that the production can continue and it never stop. These are just some few examples, but in this case, really, your imagination is your limit. So let's have a look at the Solution Gallery in the OPC Router 5.6 with Jan. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Johnny. So, yeah, let's have a look at our new feature, the Solution Gallery. On the very left here, you find a new icon, which is our Solution Gallery. And when you hit it, you see there's already a set of solutions available here. So it's always the same approach. You have a solution for a certain purpose, topic, whatsoever, system integration. And what you do is you simply click on Use Solution. So when I click on it, there's a window coming up. And yeah, as Gianni explained earlier, what you find here is it's some parameters you set, some information about OPC UA endpoint, database, of course, and so on, because we are transferring data from a Siemens S7 PLC via OPC UA to a database. And that's basically it. After you have done that, you just say, okay. And the solution is created. The solutions are available locally, so you can always create your own solutions whatsoever and share them, copy paste them whatsoever. And at some point you will find a button up here where solutions are available online in a Git repository. So every time we add solutions to our gallery, you can just synchronize your local installation using that button. Let's have a look at a specific solution. Gianni mentioned already a Teams notification, for example, or streaming data to Influx, MQTT. When it comes to the Microsoft Teams notification, what you do is you go to the use solution, of course, again, fill in the REST host URL that is supplied by the Teams application and the endpoint. You put in a decent name here and, of course, the alert message. It's just the pre-configuration. You can always change it. So I have done that according to this manual instruction whatsoever up here. Once you do it, you say okay, and then everything is created automatically in the background. So when I go to plugins, for example, the REST client connections to Teams is configured here. And the connections as well. So what I see here is the connection itself. What I did is I added a trigger. It's a temperature threshold. Whenever it exceeds 82, it will trigger this connection, for example. So what then happens is I'm just reading some OPC value and put it into a message. That message is put into a JSON and then sent to the Teams application using REST. And that's it. I just added a trigger, some messages, and then go productive. Another example is, for example, writing data to Influx. That's very helpful because it configures Influx in a way that it will work automatically. So it's a nice example on how to use it. And the third solution I used is here, using a multi-data change trigger, reading all OPC variables from a certain folder, putting them into a JSON write, and then have it sent to a MQTT broker. It's always a nice example on how to use the multi-data change trigger, very interesting trigger regarding the performance. And of course, an example on how to use JSON, if you're not familiar with it. So it's always a good example on how to use it, and of course, a predefined working solution. And what you do is, when you have configured it, you just say go productive, and then it's in the monitoring. So you monitor your data transfers. What you see here now is the Teams connection. So every time there's the temperature is exceeded the limit, then a message is sent to the Teams channel, and all members in the Teams channel get the information and can react on it, as an example. So that's basically it. It's regarding the solutions, as we said, you click on a solution, put in some information, and you're done, ready to use. That would be it regarding our solution gallery. And now we continue with Johnny again.
Thank you, Jan, for presenting the use case. I'm sure many of you are already thinking about how to implement new solutions in your own production environments. This kind of automations are essential nowadays to increase productivity and reduce downtime in your production. Let us know your use case or talk to us, and I'm sure we can inspire you for your next project. So as I said earlier, the OPC Router 5.6 also introduced other additional features, including dynamic read and write capabilities on OPC UI and new enhancements for OPC router and OPC UA server. And there are also new monitoring functionality which now allows you to download data directly. And another particularly exciting improvement is the documentation of connection. It is now possible to create a proper documentation within a connection, including notes, screenshots, and a lot of different relevant information for the connection itself. This will help you, not only you, but also your colleagues. Really interesting. So, Jan, let's have a look now at the additional new features of the OPC Router 5.6.
All right, thank you, Johnny. So yeah, let's have a look at the new additional features. I also prepared some connections for that. It starts with the dynamic read transfer object. We introduced two new transfer objects for that. The one is here, what you see in the middle here is the dynamic read and the dynamic write. It makes it more easy to create dynamic connections in OPC router. You can dynamically read and write OPC data just from a list of item names. When it comes to scaling, particularly with the template instance function here, but also for single connections where you throw a list of data points at either dynamic read or write, it's very valuable for dynamic approaches, dynamic connections. And what it does is the only thing you have to have in mind is when you throw a list of data points at it, it needs to be in browse path notation. So node ID is not possible, but browse path. And if you do that, in this case, I'm just having a couple of OPC variables here. Then you just give it the data. It will read all the values for those variables, and in return give you the values, of course. In this application, I just do an update for the current value of a certain OPC variable to a table based on the item path. So the dynamic write, on the other hand, of course, is the same. You simply provide the item name also in browse path notation, as well as the values that you want to write to it. So in one connections, you can do thousands of writes, theoretically, just using dynamic write transfer object, respectively the read. So it's a very cool way to have dynamic implementation with the OPC router. And the next one is the OPC server write, the transfer object down here. That's only for the internal OPC UA server of OPC router. So what it does is it creates your address space automatically. When you go to the UA server plugin quickly, what you find here is, of course, you can import your address space here from a file or online. You can do it manually, creating all the folders, variables, methods, whatsoever, all the objects. Here, the address space is created by simply throwing your data at it. The browse path notation has a certain path with folders and so on, and it's exactly created the same way in the internal OPC UA server. So another tool that makes it very easy to create dynamic applications with OPC router. Next one is OPC multiple read. Once again, what happened here is I have a dynamic address. That's new. So it reads OPC variables from a folder specified here with your exclude and include filters, and in return give you the values, name, and so on, all the properties of that object, that variable. So dynamic address is also interesting because what you can do now when you think of scaling template instance again, you can have multiple connections, each having a different dynamic address, and then it will read all the values here for you, and yeah, in return you do anything with it. So also makes it more dynamic again and more scalable. And the batch read is another one. It has been available, I think, for 1 or 2 versions already, but still, what you do is you also go through an OPC UA server. You do that based on variables that you specify here. It has a name and a type. It's a string simply saying temperature. The techno variable is of type array, saying, okay, I have values 01, 03, and 05. So I want to read temperature 01, 03, or 05 from an OPC server. But can also be, give me all temperatures 01 to 04 using the points here. So another very interesting transfer object for dynamic applications. Yeah, having said that, what we see here is also, so for all my OPC stuff, that would be it. Next, new additional feature is the documentation. When it comes to documentation, particularly when you have, think of many transfer objects, large connections, many steps, or you're working in a team with OPC router, documentation becomes more and more important. And with a new node tool, you can tell people what you think, what you are doing here in your connection. And now you have like colors, pictures, and so on. You can create text, better documentation for the team. So a very cool feature for that. And this is also available in 5.6 now. And finally, some of you already know it, in the monitoring, we have the export functionality. Everything that is specified in a certain time frame is available for download here in either CSV or Excel for offline analysis. This is also sometimes interesting also when analyzing your data. So I guess that would be it. And so I hand over back to Johnny.
So now I'm ready to answer your questions. So we now have one question. Where can we find the latest version of the OPC router? Oh, that's an easy one. Feel free to go on our website, opc-router.com, and you can download it. So you can download the latest version from our website. Really easy. Do I need an extra license for the solution gallery? No, you don't need any additional licenses for it. You just need to license the functionality that you use inside your solution. But the solution gallery itself, it doesn't need any additional license. So, thank you for your attention today. And if you now have, or if you have any other questions, feel free to contact us. We will be happy to discuss your project and share our expertise with you. Thank you and have a good day. Bye-bye.